back. Another fun-filled episode coming up. We haven't named this thing Itty Bitty Half Pint. I kind of like Derringer because it's little. But 98S10. It's got a 383 in it. It's got a bad exhaust leak on the passenger side header collector. So instead of just fixing it, I'm going to do the dumb thing and I'm going to put my big 383 in it. It's 12.5 to 1 compression, H-beam rods, forged pistons, monster cam, 220 AFR heads, Eagle crank, and this is like a pump gas engine. It's like 10 to 1 compression, smaller head, smaller cam. Oh, that is a solid roller cam. So this truck, my fastest pass so far has been 1176 at 113. So hopefully with the big engine, it'll go, faster. But before I rip the hood off and that, I'll start it so we can do a sound comparison after the new engine's in, see if it does make a difference in the noise. Got a spunky little cam in it. Nothing outrageous, but it's a nice looking engine. It was put together really well. My buddy Ryan, he's the one that built it, put the truck together. I got it from him. I've done a bunch of upgrades to it. Different carb, different intake, MSD ignition, distributor, the whole works. I put a built Turbo 400 in it with a trans brake. And rear end out of a 02 Extreme, I believe. With I think it's 355 with a locker. So yeah, it's I gotta rip all the serpentine stuff off, put it on that engine. I'm pretty sure that oil pan won't work in this truck. So I'm gonna have to swap the oil pans along with, I might swap the intake. I don't. This is a Team G, and this is a Victor Junior, so. And that intake's not bolted down, so I might just put this intake on there. So, yeah, let's get started. We'll get the hood ripped off. Maybe? How are you going to take these off? Huh. There's no bolts holding this hood on. Maybe the hood will stay on. Because I've never ripped one of these hoods off. It's probably one of them you got to take the fenders off to get the hood off. Yeah. It'll come out of there one way or the other. I know I've put them in with the hood on, so. Yeah, let's get started. I should probably buy a bigger carburetor because this 750 probably isn't enough. Looks good in there though. A little dirty, but I might put my valve covers on that engine too, because I don't know if I like the black or the aluminum ones. And these are a real treat to change the spark plug wires in. And the spark plugs, and there's no room. I'm trying not to wreck my wires. Last thing I want to do is have one pull out of the end and have to fix it. So I think this engine is probably, if I had to guess, it's probably 450 horse. And this one should be right around 600. That's what Ryan says. He's built tons of engines. And I think he's got a 421 he just built, and that made like 600 something horsepower with about the same compression as this one. So yeah, make some predictions on what it'll run. It's Tuesday today. I have to have this thing done and loaded on the trailer by Friday at 4 o'clock, because that's when we're leaving to go drag race, hit the last drag race of the year at Rock Falls. So, yeah, I went 1176 with this engine. So I'm thinking this thing's probably going to run, man, I'm hoping for like 1090s. Which that would be fun. Never been in the 10s. I think the best I've ever ran was, yeah, in this 1176. Camaro went 1191s, I think. There's actually a lot of stuff I can delete out of this truck. None of the computer systems being used. It's all just extra weight. But I do drive this thing all the time. Well, not lately since I got my wagon. I really haven't driven this much, but it's a fun daily driver. It gets up and goes. Fun little street truck. See if there's a drain bung for the radiator so I can start getting that out of there. Yeah, there it is. See how much coolant I can get on my garage floor. I usually do this outside because I'm stubborn. I like rolling around in the rocks. That's, yeah. So far, so good. I'm hoping I can get to all the bell housing bolts and be able to leave the transmission in, but I'm pretty sure when he put this truck together, because it had been smacked, he must have had the core sport out. And it was just a nice little shoe in, but yeah. We'll find out. Look at that. Probably 50 passes on that oil. It still looks good. Maybe more. Yeah, if you don't have a rag, your sleeve always works as a rag. Yeah, one time we went to the track. This has been cut right at the end of I think my first pass down, and radiator went into the water pump snout and poked a hole in it, and got lucky in Napa. And Eau Claire actually had a radiator for this, which should have went to O'Reilly's, but Napa was closer and I was in a hurry. And I didn't pay for it, so it doesn't count. Alright, yeah. I'm going to get busy. I'll check in as I go. I don't want to bore you guys too much with this, so yeah, next big milestone, I'll flip the camera back on and show you guys some more stuff. Well, I'm a couple hours in and made a lot of progress. I got a few of the bell housing bolts out. I got both headers off. I got half of the serpentine setup, the bracketry pulled off. Still got to take this side off, but I need a power steering pump puller to get that off, to get to the last bolt that's holding that in. A couple motor mount bolts, torque converter bolts, starter, and a few more bell housing bolts, and it's ready to come out. And then, yeah, I'm probably just going to pull that oil pan off and put this one on because I know this one works. So, swap that and oil pump. Chunk her back in. Hopefully by tomorrow I can have this out, because yeah, it's Tuesday. I should have plenty of time. Made real good progress tonight. And I got a tool sorter now to add to my her resume. camera lady, tool sorter, tool hander. Yeah, it's looking good. So yeah, pursuit of 10s. That's what we're going for. They're gonna kick me out because I don't have a cage in this yet. But it's either that or I'm gonna blow the rear end apart because it is. It's actually an 8.62. Is the reason why I went with this one. So it is stronger than the stock 7.5 that was in the truck, which got exploded like 3 times and welded and cobbled together. But yeah, wish me luck. So the engine's ready to come out. I got off work at 4. Came right home and started messing with it. I do got to lift it up and unbolt the starter because there was a clearance issue with one of the A-arm, lower A-arm mounts. So hopefully there's enough wire there where I can lift it up, I don't know, a few inches or whatever, and either pop the starter or just pop the bolts out. So a little higher. Well, there went the rest of my coolant that was in the engine. Well, that's why they got floor dry. It looks like I'm going to have enough wire, so I'll keep going until I start snagging that header. My preferred method for pulling engines is an overhead with like a chain fall. Because those are, I think they're ideal. You know, if that wire starts getting tight, Bob. Yeah, that's Chris's buddy, Whiskey Dense's buddy, Bob. I haven't met the guy, but I heard he's a joker. Oh, glad I stopped. That's the best screwdriver I own. Well, scrap metal now. Yeah, so I was looking at the numbers on that engine. It's a 014 block, so that means it could have been in 67 to 77 passenger car, 2-bolt or 4-bolt main, or a Corvette, or a Chevelle, Malibu, Monte Carlo, those kinds of cars. So 2 or 4-bolt main, but it is a 4-bolt. Well, it was probably actually originally a 2-bolt because it's got the splayed main caps on it, which it'll hold some power. I don't plan on putting nitrous to it, but because it's already at the limit of what that block will take, and I'd rather not make that V8 into 2 4-cylinders. This engine's actually quite a bit dirtier than I expected. It's only got about 10,000 miles on it, probably. But a lot of those miles were wide open down the track. Or wide open on the street. This may have made a few street rips. Not by me, of course. That's against the law. So yeah, once I get it all the way out, I gotta drop the oil pan. That's gotta go on that engine. Because there is no room for that big oil pan inside there. I think that's it. There goes the rest of my coolant. So got to swap motor mounts. I'm going to leave the black valve covers on because I think they look good. Yeah. Valve covers must have leaked a little bit. It's probably my 947 engine I've pulled out. I've only ever probably put half of them back in though. So yeah, I'm going to go find a drain pan and start swapping stuff over. I won't bore you with all that stuff, so when it's ready to go back in, we'll start filming again. Oh, definitely glued on. Oh. Wow. That oil pan wasn't going to leak. Well, I'm pretty sure I got them all. Wow. He wasn't messing around when he glued that one on. So oil pan that won't come off. Thought I had a gasket scraper here. So I got all the accessories taken off. The old engine put on this one. Intake, oil pan, motor mounts, starters on. So flywheel. It's a matter of swoop it down in there and hopefully it goes in nice. Watch the paint. Oh yeah. Ha, that I remember. Gotta have the starter up too. Kind of dark over here, you won't be able to see much. Yeah, I also went and changed the exhaust gasket, my header collector gasket. So that's where the leak was. Pretty sure when I put the transmission in last summer, I tried loosening one of the bolts and it came loose a little bit, and then I think it broke the gasket, and I never got around to fixing it. I might pull this valve cover off quick. I had the other one off. I don't want to hit my coil. That wouldn't be very wise to break my coil. Look how pretty that looks. These actually keep your valves from dancing around. It's supposed to be all set where it needs to be, so hopefully it is. Transmission up a little bit. I swear it came out easier than this. Still need a quarter of an inch. How's it looking on your side? Closer. There's one side, there's the other. It's definitely quite tight between the motor mounts. Too bad his truck's so little. There we go, that side went in. Transmission all in? Not yet. Just try to get a bolt in one side. Yeah, I'm gonna keep messing with this. I'll come back in a little bit. I have to crawl underneath and move the transmission around to get it to pop into the pegs. So I'll be back when it's mated together. So I got it bolted together. Both the motor mount bolts are in. I haven't put the nuts on them yet. But figure while everything's still in here loose, I was gonna get the headers bolted on. These ones are nice because they're notched, so you can put your first front bolt and your back bolt in and slide the gasket in and get all the other ones started. But when I tighten these down, I'll run them all tight as I can get them each side. After I fire the truck up, I'll get it hot, and while it's still hot, I'll go around and I'll retighten everything, because otherwise I've always had them come loose if I don't do that. So it's a little bit of added insurance, I guess. And you don't end up wrecking your gaskets and having to do the whole process all over again. Yeah, you like them stud girdles? So that motor's got them too, but this one is definitely going to be more horsepower, that's for sure. The problem with this is being 12-to-1 compression. Now I'm going to have to run better gas in it. Can't just get away with 91. Or hopefully I can. We'll find out, but I don't know what the cutoff for compression is when you got to start running higher octane. But if I find that out, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'm going to keep clipping away. I'm going to get my accessories back up front and my water pump on and get all that stuff hooked back up and probably jack it up, finish bolting the transmission. I got 4 bolts in it right now. Do the torque converter, and I think in a couple hours I might be able to fire this thing up. So, not bad for a few nights after work, and if I get it cranked up tonight, that means I don't have to, I can tune it tomorrow instead of, trying to tune it at the track. Getting closer. Got the accessories up front bolted back on, and transmission's bolted in. I wanted to get everything finished top side before I jack it up, put it on the jack stands, finish the bottom side, but headers are bolted on, spark plugs in. Still gotta drop the distributor in, wiggle the radiator back down inside there. I don't know why I didn't put that in first, but well, it would have been easier. Yeah, just a bunch of small stuff now, and I think if I was motivated, I could probably fire it up tonight, but I don't think I have that much ambition now. Just gonna keep tinkering on the little stuff, and definitely fire it up tomorrow. If not tonight. We'll see. Wow. You don't need to tighten your oil filters that tight. Oh, it's got oil in it. Ooh. I was going to fill it, but apparently this engine's been primed. So, well, now I got some in my armpit, so, yeah. I'm tired. I'm going to just go to bed. So, yeah, I guess I'll crank it in and see if it starts building pressure. Well, it hit 60 or 50 cranking, so got quite the oil pump in it. Usually when it's cold, it's about 80 in this thing, I think. So yeah, we'll put the distributor in, hook the wires up, and carb on, give it some fuel, and See if it'll bring the boom loudly. Well, let's see what it does. Strippers a little bit out. Let's try that way. Try that way. A little more. I wonder if I should find out if this has a gear drive in it. That was making an awful lot of noise. Yeah. Is it coming from the front of the engine? Yeah. Yeah, that's where I am. So it does, in fact, have gear drive timing in it. That's where all the noise was coming from. I've never had a vehicle with it, and I had to text him, and he said, "Yep, it's got a gear drive." So I'm not worried about it. Timing's still a little bit off, but this thing usually just sits and idles, but you know, new engine, and it's pretty tight, so yeah. Sounds pretty radical to me. The gear drive, I don't know if I like it or not. It's a lot of noise, isn't it? Turn the idle up a little bit. Maybe it won't run by itself. Oh, fuel pump was off. It sounds like something's rattling. I gotta dig into that a little more. So we went drag racing yesterday. It was kind of a bust. I was only able to get 2 passes in. There was a pretty bad accident on a track car making a license pass. I think he broke an axle and front wheel drive Honda slammed in the wall, spun around. The guy's okay, which I'm glad to see that. But yeah, it shut the track down for a couple hours. But the truck ran the exact same as it did with the old engine. But with this being a bigger engine, same cubic inch, but more, it needed more air. So I think the 750 definitely was not enough carburetor for it. And I had a timing issue. The marks were off. I really couldn't get it timed right. But I'll mess with it this winter because winter's coming. So I got all winter to get it all figured out. I think I'm going to get rid of the serpentine setup, just go to electric water pump, manual steering, and just alternator, the basic setup. Because at 7,300 it shot the belt off. It didn't like it at all. So plan on deleting on that. But all in all, it was a success. I did an engine swap in basically 2 days. Tinkered on it the 3rd day. Loaded up, and yeah, it went down the track straight. You know, we got video of it. We'll put it on. Carried a driver's tire a little bit. Yeah. So good times. It was fun. Thanks for tuning in. Make the plan, work the plan, and it worked. So yeah. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. So have a good night. Cheers.